Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage. Today we're going to be having a look at MATIC. This is going to be a lower time frame video. We do have our higher time frame video up above, so check that out if you haven't already. Let's get into the charts and see what's going on. Okay, so in the previous video, we're looking at two options. So within our bullish option, what we were arguing here is that we're looking for the potential of a move to the upside in a bigger ABC pattern. Now, what we were saying is that we want to see this move come back down in this B wave, and we are looking for potential support here between this 50% and the 786. Now we have come down into this 50% area already. Now what I would be on the lookout for here is if we do see another push to the downside, potentially we could look to push into the 618 area here of the 6305 to the 6193. We're going to go over the internals of this count in a second, but effectively what we're looking for is a potential that this becomes A, B, and then we're looking for a bigger C wave to the upside. Now our one-to-one target, given our current level here, would be this 1348. So if we do see price looking to push to the upside, I will be keeping an eye on this zone. We do have some areas up here with some naked points of control. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on these levels because these are aligning with these one-to-ones. Now, it is very difficult here to say that we have any kind of an impulsive move to the upside here, but I still will be keeping an eye on this 1618. If we do start to move up above that, then there's potential that we could have some kind of a diagonal nestled in here, but it is very choppy and hard to count it as one at this moment. So for the time being, I am treating this mostly as a corrective structure. Now, the thing is, within our bearish count, what we were arguing was that we could still have this potentially as a wave 4 from further back here, where effectively this becomes a wave 4, and then we're still looking for this idea of a fifth wave to the downside. Now, some other targets that we were looking for here as potential zones of interest would be the 0.382 of the wave 1 to 3, which is actually aligning again with coming back into this channel. So if we do see this fifth wave move back down here one more time, effectively what we could see is that this could actually look to truncate around this 0.382, though realistically we need to always be aware that even if we do get a 5-wave move down here, there is potential that we could see something like this forming, where we actually still see this move come down towards this 4495 to this 3643 as a potential target. So going to be just on the lookout for this. We don't have really good structure down at the moment. It is looking quite choppy and overlapping, so it is looking more corrective down. So what I want to see here is whether we actually manage to take these highs. If we do manage to take these highs, then the probability becomes that this move actually completed into this point here, and that we're looking for this bigger corrective structure to the upside. Okay, so let's get into the lower degree counts here. So effectively what we were arguing is that if we are looking at this as a B wave, what we were saying here is that we had this as an A, B, and we're looking for a C. Now we've come down towards this one-to-one level already here at the 6548. Now because of that reason, I'm looking out for the potential that this could actually be completed here. Now there is a way of counting this into this low where we treat this whole move as 1, 2, and then effectively this whole move down becomes a third, fourth, and then we actually have this as our fifth wave. That would be saying that the fifth wave of the blue count actually had an extension within it, and effectively that was our extended wave. This is our fourth wave, and we've had this fifth wave down. Now coming in more locally here, what we need to be careful of is that within this smaller time frame count here, it is possible that we could also argue that this is A, B, and then C to the upside, in which case what we could be looking for is a move up towards this 6904 as a expanding flat. Now if we do see price move up into this area with a 5-wave move, effectively what we then need to see is whether we get a retracement down in 3 waves and then see that continuation. Failure to actually develop that 3-wave move to the downside would actually mean that it's more likely we're going to see this develop into a 5th wave. Now if this is actually this 4th wave still in play, something along these lines, what we could get is that our 5th wave still to play out to the downside, in which case that target would be the 6393 to the 6260. So this is what I'm looking out for here internally. If we just get a 3-wave move up and we start to develop 5-wave structure to the downside, it becomes likely that we're going to see this area get tested lower down here. But as long as we actually hold this low, we need to be on the lookout that this move could actually start to develop a bigger move to the upside here, looking for either this move to become a B wave to the upside, or alternatively looking for that bigger C wave within our bullish count, where we could actually start to develop some impulsive structure to the upside. Now we don't have enough evidence of this within the current wave count here. You know, there's potential here. We have something like a diagonal pattern where this becomes our wave 1, this is wave 2, this is wave 3, we get wave 4, 5, something like this is a contracting diagonal here. get a 3-wave move down, hold these lows, and then look to push away. Or alternatively, within here, we are building a series of 1s and 2s where this becomes 1, 2, this is 1, 2, this is 1, 2 here. And then we're going to see this price looking to break to the upside in a bigger way. Now, more locally, what I'd want to see for that confirmation, if we're going to see something like this as a bigger 5-wave structure, is we'd need to push up towards a 6840. If we do start to push up towards a 6840, then we'd be looking for evidence of 4th waves, where we see a small 3-wave move down and then that continuation up. And then that would align with the idea that internally here, we have something like this as a 5-wave structure, and then we have this as an additional 4th and a 5th, and this is actually our bigger 5-wave move looking to play out in this way. Now, if we did see a move up in that way, effectively this could still be that C wave. So we need to be careful that if we do see a move up here in 5 waves, which fails to find support again, and we actually take the low, it confirms the idea of this being a flat correction over here, and then we could be looking for these lower targets. Now, if this is actually looking to complete, like I said, we want to start to see that impulsive structure developing to the upside, and we want to see this move looking to push up in a C wave. Now, within that more bearish case, what we're saying is that we are looking for the potential of a 5th wave down, and what I'm looking out for within this count is that potentially we could argue that this move could be 1, 2, 3, we get a bigger 4th wave and a 5th wave. Now, the reason why this is not my primary expectation here is because we've only reached that 1-to-1. So typically speaking, this wave 3 is going to hit that 1618, but it is possible that we could still have this as a 3. We're going to have to watch the structure. That is the most important thing here. If we get 3 waves up and then we see a bigger 5-wave structure to the downside here, effectively what we could still see is a move down towards a 6351 to the 6156. Now, if we do see a 5-wave move in this way, this could align with that wave actually falling short here, where we're going to see a truncation in this 5th wave. Alternatively, we could get this as a bigger 1, 2, and then we look to break down in a bigger way. So it's going to be important that if we develop this additional 4th and a 5th here, that we could start to see price actually looking to retrace to the upside for a wave 2, reject off of potentially this channel line again, and then looking for that continuation to the downside. Now, there is also potentially a way we could argue that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as a diagonal pattern. Now, if this is the case, effectively what we'd be looking for would be a 3-wave move to the upside currently from where we are. But this would typically be a more substantial move, and what I'd be looking out for would be a direct push up towards this zone of this 786 to this 50% level. If we do see price looking to push back above these levels and we move higher than this wave 1, which is the invalidation point for this 5th wave, because the 5th wave is not allowed to cross this wave 1, effectively then we could actually see something like this play out, where this becomes 1, 2, and then we look for that continuation to the downside afterwards. Areas of interest within this would be the bottom of this channel that we've got here on this 50% area, this 75.98, and then higher up here we do have the potential to look to swing fail this high. So I would be keeping an eye on this idea if we do see price push up in 3 waves. But at the moment, I'm looking to see whether we actually complete this move up and start breaking these invalidation points here for that continuation to the downside. But really we need to be careful, because there's always possibility that within the structure, I'm counting this as potentially a 5-wave move, but then if this actually just becomes a 3-wave move up, we can always see something like this as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we have another 1, 2, and then you see we get extension in the waves in that way. So really what I want to see here is that if we do have a substantial low in place here, need to see price actually continuing to hold this point and then looking to progress to the upside in 5 waves, ideally, if we're looking for that C wave. Coming in here and having a look at the daily CPR lines, what we can see is that we have a very tightly spread CPR line here. Now, this is normally indicative of some volatility and potential breakouts. Now, if we do see price actually continue to hold above this level here, which is the 66.59, effectively we can look for potential to come back up to yesterday's high at the 68.42, and this is also aligning with this R1 line. If we do look to push through this level and find support, then potentially we could look to test these areas here, this 70.34, this 72.05, and this 74.05 as a potential target to the upside. The problem with these tight spread CPR lines is that these don't offer much support. So if we do see price actually looking to break back down here, we can quite easily move through these levels, in which case what we could actually see is price come back down towards a 64.76 or the 64.80, depending on which one of these lines we're looking at. If we do see price looking to continue to the downside, this would align with that idea of that fifth wave target still looking to play out, in which case what we could look for is the potentially lower down here towards a 62.94. Other targets for today to the downside is this 61.14 and this 59.26, which is aligning with coming back into the top end of this channel. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on these levels if we do see price starting to move into their areas. Now, looking at the weekly CPR lines, what we can see is that we're currently in the middle of these CPR lines. If we do move through the central lines, we have the potential to test out these higher targets this week of the 69.71. We have the 72.85 and the 74.85 as possible upside targets. If, however, we start to reject from these levels, I will be on the lookout for the potential to revisit the S1 line here at the 64.72, and if we lose that level, other targets are the 62.75 and this 59.65. so once again, that idea of coming back into this channel. Now, if we come over here and have a look at the monthly pivots, what we can see here is that we're currently underneath our central CPR lines. Now, these have printed higher, which is normally indicative of a bullish narrative, but we don't have the price confirming this yet. What I want to see here for confirmation of some bullish price movements is actually getting back above these central lines. Now, these can potentially be resistance if we move back up here between this 76.95, we have the 74.26 and the 71.58 as potential targets to the upside as resistance. Now, if we did see something like this, like a three-wave move to the upside back into this channel, this would align with coming into the central lines here. If, however, we start to break above these levels, other targets for this month become this 83.76. We have this 98.42 and this $1.08 as potential upside targets. If, however, we see price looking to reject either directly to the downside or a move up and then a rejection, we have potential to actually find support here at this 59.24, once again aligning with this channel line. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on this channel. There is a few areas of confluence there with these CPRs that could be quite interesting. Losing that level, we have other targets to the downside this month of this 49.75 and the lower end of the channel at this 34.73. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. Everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.